Okay, the next fly we're going to tie is a big foam fly. I will often just call big foam flies big foam. They all have names: Chernobyl Ant, Fat Albert, for example. This one is called the Willys Ant, and it's the closest thing I can tie to a Willys Ant. What I like about the Willys Ant is not all foam flies are equal. Something like the Fat Albert is sort of a heavy foam fly, and when you throw it, you can feel it has a little bit of weight. Sometimes that makes it difficult to roll cast with a 4-weight rod, for instance. The other is it sits very low in the water. Even though it's foam, even though it floats, it's not always the easiest fly to see. It has a very good impression. The Willys Ant, in contrast, has a really big wing that's easy to see. The body is not very much, just one layer of foam and a little bit of chenille and some legs. So it's a simple fly, but it floats high. You can really see it. It's a great fly to hang a dropper off of, so if you ever want to cut the hook off of it and use it like a strike indicator and hang a dry fly underneath it, it works great. It's also a great fly for twitching, for skating, which we do a lot here. You know, you can get a little bit of a drift in there down the bank and then give it a little twitch with your rod, and instead of sinking when you twitch, the way it's tied, it stays up and it skates. It makes a nice little wake behind it, which I think is a really useful characteristic to a foam fly here in Patagonia. So we'll start this one. I'm going to tie it in a size 4, because one thing we know about foam flies in Patagonia is large brown trout like to eat them. So make sure you have a hook that can take it. Okay, now I always coat my hook with a layer of thread. Very important, especially with foam flies. It helps them not turn around the hook so much. Okay, now I buy my foam in big strips. Okay, a couple things here. When you start your foam flies, make sure the thread is all the way to the end of the shank, all the way back. Now, when you make your first wraps into a new segment of foam, it's important not to cinch all the way down on the first couple. I'm going to take some rubber legs. And don't really worry about tightening these too much, because we're going to glue them later. And we'll just use any kind of ice chenille for the body. Red, purple, pink, white, they all work. Whatever one you like is the one I recommend. Okay, now we're going to bring this forward. Same thing. Don't cinch it all the way on the first one. Take your time. For the wing, we're just going to use some regular poly yarn. I'm going to put the wing on where it covers most of the body. About right there looks good to me. Trim off the excess. Finish with our legs. Put the leg in like this, vertically, and then pull it to where you want it. Tie it here. Oh, really tie it off. Now, still missing a couple steps here. I'm going to just tease that wing all into one. Toothbrush works fine. That work. Then you can trim the legs as you want. You can leave the legs big if you want, or trim them short. I like to put a little taper on the body with my scissors. Give it a little shape. And that's the Willys Ant. And all I'm doing is making sure I get a little bit of super glue everywhere the rubber meets the thread. And that will make sure that the foam and the legs stay where they need to stay. and they don't rotate around the hook. Willys Ant. The head is doubled over so that when you skate the fly, it doesn't sink. It stays up. It has that little lip to keep it up. And the wing is really light, dries out quickly, and very easy to see. Great foam fly, very simple, fast to tie.